Yes, what's going on, people? I'm stepping in for D. Welcome to the Southampton preview live show. Today we got Stan, Uncle Pat, Uncle T, and if you look at T's background, there's not a flag in his office because he is currently in London. So T, let the people know. Tell them how was your flight? How was your first few hours in London?
Reporting live from London town, man. It's good, man. It's good so far. Everything's been good, man. Got out the flight this morning. My guy Louis showed me some wonderful London hospitality, man. Showed me around. Looking forward to tomorrow. Crazy that I'm getting to do a preview show from here, and I'm gonna be at the match. Like, it's unreal.
Yeah, man. Stan, how you doing, man? You ain't been on the show for a while. See you've come in the glory days.
Yeah, I'm
finals. Yeah, you're back. I'm back.
How
you doing?
I only sing when we're winning and all of that.
Yeah, basically.
No, I'm good. To be fair, the glory days. It's been a fair few recently. So that's good. Yeah. Obviously, great performance at the weekend and excited for the game tomorrow.
And lastly, the GOAT, Uncle Pat. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Just a little tired today.
Yeah, no problem. Anyway, make sure you like, subscribe. How many people we got in here? 24, 27. We're going to be going through the preview for Southampton. There's a bit of news as well. I see there was a few wishy-washy links with Glasner leaving, even though people were trying to play the April Fool's joke that happened to me in 2 different group chats about Glasner leaving, and then ended up actually being an article on him leaving. Was there any other Palace news, guys? I feel like I saw something else. We'll go through the press conference. Pat can get up the quotes from there. But yeah, how's everyone feeling after the FA Cup game? T, what's your feelings?
Trending in the right direction, man. Trending in the right direction. Like you said, man. I can only imagine the amount of energy that there was at Craven Cottage with the performance that we put in, man. Just unbelievable to see that type of performance from us, to set that record with such good away performances. But I think it just lines up with what we got going on this week. I think this is where we wanted to be with coming off of a win, going to Wembley, and now trying to continue on with the good form in the league.
Yeah, Stan, you done a link up at the Toronto pub, was it, for the game?
Yeah.
Were there any limbs in the pub, like the ones at Craven Cottage?
Biblical limbs for all 25 of us that were there. I will say we did have the biggest meetup in North America, and we have had that a fair few times this year. So we've really grown that group, and I'm actually really proud of it because I set it up 2016. Had some really good guys help me obviously do the socials and stuff. But no, it was great, and hopefully there's some more limbs on Saturday.
Yeah. Biggest North American link up, you'll never sing that.
So, there you go, mate.
Anyway,
only in Palace circles because all the other supporters clubs are bigger than us. But yeah.
Okay, going on to Glasner's press conference today. Unks, have you got the quotes, and could you give us your thoughts on what he had to say today?
Yeah, the first question was obviously about injuries. So Chris Richards has a slight calf pull. Apparently it happened just as him traveling back from LA from the Nations League match. So he's not available tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there as far as who will take his place. We could talk about that during the preview. And obviously Will Hughes is still suspended, so he won't play tomorrow. They tried to ask him about the Aston Villa game. He wasn't interested in talking about that. He said that's gone. We'll talk about that, a day before the match. Spoke a little bit about Adam Wharton. Interesting quote, actually. Says Adam has a lot of potential. That's a great quote. I think it wasn't his best performance against Fulham. I think Adam can play better than he did. But yes, he has a lot of potential, but we could see it last year. So some nice thoughts, comments there about Adam Wharton. Talk about Eddie Nketiah. D, are you in the background? Get ready. Eddie Nketiah comment coming up. Basically, it's confidence. It's not just in the last games. I think in the last 4 games, Eddie Nketiah has scored 3 goals. We talked about it when we arrived about JP. It's confidence. The most important thing for a striker is being confident that you can score goals. So, obviously, we've talked about it. Lou and I talk about doing the play ratings. He's a confidence player, and right now, he can't be any better than it is now because obviously he's got the goals lately. And lastly, the goal, which is what I really love, said the goal is 30 points. It's easy. We have 10 games to play. That means the goal is getting 30 points. But we don't talk about 10 games. We're just focused on Southampton. We know how they play. We know what we have to expect. A lot of duels, very aggressive side. So basically ready for tomorrow's match.
Okay, Stan, what are your thoughts on his quotes?
I love a manager that says the goal is 30 points in 10 games. Like, it's just refreshing. And at the same time, of course, he's being facetious and playing on the questions that are being asked. But, it's great to have somebody that has that type of confidence that wants us to go in and focus and win every single match. You know what I mean? I think he made a good point about, Adam Wharton, it wasn't his best game, and it was great that he pointed that out. But still to say that, he offers us a great deal and he makes us a much better team. But, that definitely wasn't his best match by any means. But I think it was good to hear the things that he said and, roll on Wednesday.
Stan, what do you think?
Yeah, I love the 30 points from 30 games comment. I think it's it's about being frank. I think someone was trying to rile Patrick in the chat a little bit earlier today, and we said about our previous manager, he had 3 hits on certain teams, etc., but that's well and truly in the past. So delighted. And about Adam Wharton as well, he didn't have his best game, but the one thing I would say to him was, obviously, I think he was the occasion might have got to him a little bit the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, and obviously he's couple of challenges, he got a booking and whatever, but for a player that was on a booking for the majority of the game to play with the calmness and the control that he played with, and he dictated that midfield. You saw obviously the clip of he does what's it called, a couple of Cruyff turns and in and out and whatever, drops his shoulder. I mean, yeah, might not have been his best game, but he's still bloody good, wasn't he?
Yeah. I personally thought he had a good game. It's a blood and thunder game in the FA Cup. He's not going to produce ridiculous output every single game, but I think he done well. Patrick, I think Glasner spoke about this game not being a tactical battle, more about duels. That's one of his favorite words, isn't it? You have to win your duels. What are your thoughts on that comment? And what are your thoughts on Southampton's style of play?
No, I agree. A couple of reasons. They play a similar formation, the 3-4-2-1, so it's be a matchup. And he said that when you play a team that plays the same formation, it's basically a man-for-man marking. Wing back versus wing back, midfielder versus midfielder, etc. So he makes a very good point with that. The system's the same, and the thing is, we're looking at a team that is bottom of the league, 2 wins from 29 matches, conceded 70 goals. I watched Juric's conference today for the Southampton manager, and he said the goal is to beat the record of Derby, which is 11 points. So they're terrible. So obviously, all they want to do is they got nothing to lose tomorrow. They'll come out. How many have they got at the moment? 9 points.
And what did you say? One. How many games played?
29 matches.
And 70 goals conceded.
70. But again, if you follow them last year, they gave a lot of goals up. They conceded a lot of goals last year too under Russell Martin. They just scored.
They should have scored a lot more. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, I think once again he had his spot on. It's not going to be a tactical battle. It's going to be win your battles 1v1 and score your chances. Can we lose tomorrow? Sure, we can, because anything's possible in football. But we are going in there on a high from the way we play away, and they're a very bad side. Could they pull some out of hat tomorrow? Anybody can. So I'm not going to go mad if they lose tomorrow because it's football. But no, I get what Glasner's saying. It's not tactical. It's just all about win your battles, be more aggressive, and see what happens.
Yeah. T, your thoughts on... So we played such a high-profile game on Saturday. expanded, a lot of energy, emotion. What type of mentality does it take to then switch over when you're playing bottom of the league 2 days later? I looked at a little graph that still not really having us competing for Europe, so no one's really taking any notice of us. What mentality do the players have to have going into this game?
I would say the mentality that they have to have is the mentality that we've had for the majority of this season. I think under Glasner's leadership, we've done a really, really good job of taking every single match one by one and putting the highest priority on the match that's in front of us. Yeah. And I don't expect that to be any different this time around. And we were talking about it earlier when we were walking the streets, man. Like it's really refreshing to have a manager who views every single match the same exact way with the same amount of importance and the same amount of laser focus. For him to understand that how this game is going to probably look for us means that he is focused on it. He cares. He knows what this type of match is going to be like. Southampton is not a very good team, and what do not very good teams try to do against better competition? Make games ugly, make teams try to struggle. Just make sure they don't do the things that they want to do, what they like to do usually, because that way they can scrape a point at home. So I think it's going to be the same focus that we've had prior, and I like the fact that Glasner knows exactly what we need to be doing, and he seems like he has us really paying attention to those things.
Yeah, Stan, in regards to Southampton's team, what players do you think we should be looking out for?
Diblin is a good player. Tall Paul, I wouldn't say that he's a great player, but he is a unit, and he will, he's a very physical player, and he likes to get in amongst it. Onuachu. Sulemana isn't a bad player. He can do a bit. Harwood Bellis, at the back is no fool as well. Is it Fernandez plays in the middle for them? He even though we beat them at Selhurst, I think he was probably their best player the last time we played them. From what I remember, he was quite good. So listen, they're not a great team. They don't play well together, but like I've said, like Patrick said, it's football, and they've got nothing to lose. They've got something to play for, we need to just be focused and try and get a job done.
Yeah. Glasner spoke about obviously Richards being out. He also had a quote saying that he'd put Mitchell and Chilwell as left centre backs in a training game over the international break. Pat, what is your preference on how who we bring in for Chris Richards? Would you like a straight shot for Klein? What would you like to see?
Is D listening? Is D listening? Because I want to make sure D's listening. Is he in the background?
Yeah, he's in the background.
All right, great. Yeah. So, as most people know, I'm a big Glasner fan, so I don't particularly care what he does tomorrow. I'm happy with it. Personally, probably I go with Klein. The reasoning is because he did it last season and did a good job at it. I wouldn't want to put Lerma back there because I think it disrupts too much. I like the idea of Mitchell or Chilwell. I hadn't thought about that until the press conference, so I like that. But I'm going to be honest, it doesn't matter to me what he does. I knew this was going to happen eventually because there was no way Richards, Lacroix, and Gay could get through the next 11, 12 matches without someone being injured or being, whatever. So I'm actually kind of happy it happened now as opposed to later on. But honestly, whoever he puts back there, it's going to be someone he trusts. So me personally, probably Klein. But again, if I see Mitchell or Chilwell, I'm good with it.
So, T, if there was to be a left centre back, who do you think is a better profile for a left centre back, Mitchell or Chilwell? And what are your thoughts?
It's got to be Mitchell. It's got to be Mitchell, just because Mitchell, out of the two of them, is the better defender overall. And I think when you combine those two on the left side, you're really optimizing the strengths of both guys. Because Mitchell's the better defender, so put him in that left center back role. It's probably going to be the most comfortable he could be in our system by far. And with Chilwell then has a guy that is a solidified defender behind him, which gives him then more courage with going forward. So I definitely think that would be the way to go. I love the fact, similar playing off of what Patrick said, is just the fact that we have the ability to have options in what we want to do. And to say that, we could start out with a left side of Chilwell and Mitchell, or to say that we can keep things pretty similar to what we've been doing by just swapping in Klein, I don't have a problem with either of those. And if our manager decides to go one of those two ways, I'm good with that, because we have the ability, we have quality players that can go in either spot. Patrick, I have a question for you, and just thinking about the situation with Richards and thinking about our back three and staying healthy and things.
Sure.
Do you think that what we're seeing with him deciding to, or him saying that Richards is hurt, do you feel like this could actually be more of a, load management rest situation and him coming back at the weekend type of thing?
100%. If it wasn't, he would have mentioned he's ready to play on Saturday. So for me,
Yeah,
it's definitely
exactly.
a management issue. I mean, 3 matches for any player in this week is going to be tough. I mean, I don't know if we're losing to go on to the other positions, but like I'm worried about Loma playing today and then having to play Saturday. But I just realized now he's going to be back for Saturday. So Loma plays back to back. He can rest on Saturday. So there's that option too, which is good.
Great option off the bench Saturday as well, right? If they do rest, if Hughes does come straight back in. Yeah,
I agree. And then you also got Kamada can play. So no, I agree too. I think it's a load management. And again, that's why people talk about injuries and worrying about this and that. Listen, man, as Louis mentioned, we've got professional guys, sports medicine guys who track these guys how they are. So worrying about a guy getting injured or how he's, don't play so and so, they know. Glasner knows, who can play and who's 100% fit or whatever. But barring, like I said, not having the options that we do now, because I mean, everyone's fit besides VR, Decore, and now Richard. So we've got like more than a full squad. So we're very lucky right now. So I agree. It's definitely a load management thing for me with Richard for sure. Yeah. And it's smart. Very, very smart.
Yeah. I think we suffered a lot at the start of the season with injuries, but if you gave me a choice of suffering at the beginning and ending with a full squad, I would definitely take it. In regards to squad rotation, I think when a team is doing really well and then also there's a cup semi-final in the near future, I feel like players naturally raise their game, because there's not one player who won't be itching to get on that pitch at Wembley. Because remember, only 16 players can play, 11 on the starting and 5 subs. Stan, if you was to pick one player, not in our traditional starting 11 most weeks, that could have the biggest impact towards the end of the season, who would you go for and why?
Two come to mind. Can I have two?
Go on.
I think Eddie Nketiah, and I think Matheus França, because both have a point to prove. And Nketiah, like Glasner said in his press conference, it's about comfort. It's about confidence. And I think França as well. He wants to show what he's about. You could see he's itching. He's only getting a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there. But as we go forward, I think you're going to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah. With in regards to starting 11, Pat, would you keep the team as close as what it was on Saturday, or what changes would you personally make? I know I'm in your camp of whatever the manager deems fit is what I prefer, but would you like to see any sort of rotation in terms of where we're going to need the whole squad? Do we need to give a few more minutes just to players to get minutes in their legs, to get them up to speed with the first team players? Or do you think it's straight, listen, the best team plays every single game for the next 12, hopefully 12 games left, including the final? Do you think it's that mentality, or do we have to spread it around so everyone's ready in case someone gets injured, suspended?
It's a great question. I think Glasner's mindset is what you said at the end, which is what play the best. but he's also very aware of things like load management and the 3 matches in a week. He mentioned today that we didn't train this week because obviously the game on Saturday didn't have recovery Sunday. Yesterday was like a light work, light training, and obviously today is what it is. But so they didn't really fully train this week. So prior to the Richards injury or Richards issue, I was going to actually suggest 3 changes.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Chilwell start to give Mitchell a rest. I'd like to see Kamada come in to give Lerma a rest. And I would have started Eddie because Mateta hasn't been playing. But now that Richards is not playing and you're going to have possibly Chilwell in there anyway, I would honestly just go with, I would give Lerma a rest having come in for the second half, as Stan mentioned before. I'd like to have Kamada start. And I'd actually would start JP. And have Nketiah there, as he's been doing very well coming off the bench. He's done a great job coming off the bench lately because you can't flog them for the next 10, 12 matches. As much as that's a great idea. And again, I love our bench. I love the fact you have, and I haven't even mentioned players like France or Eze to come in, and they can do a job too. But I don't think he will change Sarr and Eze. So, but yeah, I'd like to see maybe those 3 changes again. Possibly Kamada, Chilwell, or like I said, Nketiah possibly.
Pat, I also worry about Munoz as well because I think again he went to Colombia, he played 2 sets of 90 minutes, played Saturday. I mean, I know the guy's a warrior, but we're only human beings, and he's pivotal to the way we play. So I would maybe rather see him rested tomorrow, or at least on the bench, let him recover and be fresh for the remaining games.
He did take Munoz off.
In that scenario, I think if you end up wanting to go that direction, then I think you start Klein, and then you maybe go. But then that probably shifts it to where you have Gahey, Lacroix, and then maybe Mitchell at the back with Chilwell, and then
Chilwell left wing back, yeah,
and Klein at right and left wing back.
Yeah,
but once again, I guess there's a lot of change that.
It is. And Munoz is so pivotal to the way we play on that right-hand side that I think it will be too much of a risk to make that many changes.
Yeah, that's a lot of change that comes with that one. With trying to rest that one player, you have to make a huge shift in a lot of ways. Yeah. I mean, Nketiah one stood out to me as a potential one, just because I feel like we're still trying to acclimate JP and then get him back. Because I mean, even though he was able to play the time that he did at the weekend, he didn't look like himself in a lot of ways. So I wouldn't have been against giving Eddie at least the start and then maybe letting JP come off the bench and then starting him against Brighton.
Yeah.
But other than that, once again, I think whatever we decide to do I feel like it's going to be the most appropriate thing. So.
I think Eddie's in a good run of form, but our main striker is JP, and the quicker JP gets up to speed and scoring goals again is the most important for the team. So JP needs another 50, 60 minutes in his legs. We've seen previously from JP, he gets better as he gets in more of a rhythm. So I think it's important for JP to start. In regards to Kapora as a right wing back, my big thing with playing young players is I would only go one at a time. And if he's playing, he has to be surrounded by experience.
Has he played right wing back before?
He played against Arsenal when he was taken off at halftime.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been playing in our system. So it's not like it's not something he hasn't been doing.
He was thrown in the deep end against Arsenal. If there was a game for Kapora to start,
it's tomorrow for sure.
It's tomorrow
for sure. For sure.
And I wouldn't mind Klein being behind him. Klein has experience. He'd also have Lerma or Walton next to him. So I'm all for Kapora getting a chance, and maybe that's the right thing to do. Maybe it's not. Has he earned it in training? That's a big thing. Has he earned the trust of the manager? This manager doesn't just give minutes away. He doesn't see football like that. I think you have to be, like he says, you have to be 100% ready. And if he doesn't think you're ready, I don't think he starts him. But like I said, I'm interested to see. I think it's important we get the win tomorrow because a lot of teams are playing each other. Fulham have Arsenal away, so it is a good opportunity to gain 1 or 2 points on teams above us. So I just wanted to your guys' thoughts. Do you think Conference League is still something attainable? Are you still feeling confident about it? Pat, I'll come to you first.
No, I'm focused on the cup right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not worried about that because the cup gets you Europa League. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I didn't want to say anything before the quarterfinal, but we're two wins away from winning the cup and getting to the Europa League. So if we get Conference League, whatever. But right now, I'm all about the cup. So yeah.
I'll be honest. In this moment now, if someone said to me, "You're guaranteed to get Conference League, but you won't win the cup," I would say I'll take my chances in the cup.
Exactly.
Pat, T, how are you feeling about it? You feeling the same?
I mean, when you're thinking about what it can mean in the league places, yes, it's technically attainable until it's not. But I don't think it's the focus. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, we could go on a streak and win every single match, until the end of the season and probably qualify. So yes, technically it's attainable until it's not. But right now it's just not the focus for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about earlier, we got 2 matches. The rest of this season, we have 2 particular matches that we need to make sure that we win. And if we can do that, we will attain history that's never been done at this club. So,
but I will say I have to give Glasner credit. That's not what Glasner's thinking. Glasner said with the whole 10 matches, 30 points, forget the cup stuff. So I love the way he thinks anyway. So
yeah, because it's always about the next match. It's always about the match ahead of us. Yep. And because if that's the focus, then in Glasner's eyes, we'll win every match. We'll qualify via our placing in the league. We'll win the FA Cup and we'll go to Europa because of that. You know what I'm saying? But all of the above.
Have you got the deja vu? Because he said the exact same thing last season when we went on a run. When they asked him about just before the Liverpool game, it's 7 wins. It's 20. It's 21 points from 3. Stan, what are your thoughts? Me personally, I could only look at European places if we win Tuesday and win against Saturday. Then the table might look a bit more in our favor, but other than that, I've got cup fever. What do you think, Stan?
I think we've all got cup fever. I think we need to be careful in just saying we're prioritizing the cup. Obviously, we should listen. Give me that cup over everything tomorrow, right? If someone said it, I'll take my chances or whatever. But listen, we got to play the teams around us and above us. A lot of the teams got to play above us. We're in a good run of form. We're fighting on all fronts. So let's see what happens. One game at a time, like we said, and could maybe lifting a trophy for the first time ever, or maybe show me the way to Legia Warsaw. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens.
So obviously, I feel like we were going under the radar a bit with our performances. We had a lot of limelight this weekend from pundits, from TalkSport to ESPN to Sky Sports. The same pundit saying Eze's ready to make it to the next level. The same generic stuff. But in terms of our style of play, Pat, what do you think it will take to really trouble us? Because we're so solid at the back, but surely there's going to be a time where we're going to struggle. What do you think? What type of style of play or team do you think will give us a lot of trouble?
I'm not sure there's a style of play, but making any silly mistakes, that's what's cost us in the past. I mean, going back to Wolves with the header by Chalobah and the Forest game with the Chalobah header and then Hennis not saving it. And then there was a slip against Everton or against Brentford.
The throw in from
the penalty kick against Brentford. You know what I mean? It's just a mistake, which is going to happen because again, football's not a perfect game, and 90 minutes plus of football, you're going to make a mistake. But I don't think it's a style of play, honestly, because we played well against Man City. We played well against Forest, even though we lost the game. We weren't terrible in that game. We played well against. We've beaten a lot of the mids. I'm looking at this. We've beaten Villa. We beat Fulham, we beat Brighton, we drew against Newcastle. We played some good teams. I mean, the only team we haven't played well against is Arsenal. Those 2 matches we really weren't. And what was
So-
Arsenal? Arsenal was clinical, right?
If-
That was the reason
if
my
I-
team was very clinical in
I
that
think
game.
that's what it is. It's
If
a
I
team
re-
that's technical.
If I
That's
rephrase
Go
the
ahead.
question, guys,
ahead.
where do you see our weaknesses? Because we're not a perfect team. Where do you see our weaknesses? Where does everyone see our weaknesses? I think, me personally, I think the approach where Glasner fills out the opposition. I think the only weakness could be if maybe we went 1 or 2-0 down in that instance. That's my only. I don't think it's a bad tactic. I'm just saying that could be a weakness of ours. I don't know if you guys feel the same, or you've seen anything, or you think maybe in a certain position, or us playing out from the back sometimes doesn't look too fluid. So Pat, first, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, again, because I now understand how we're trying to play, I don't have a problem with that. But you're right. If the team scores in those first 15, 20 minutes, we'll be in trouble because we haven't really had to come back. I mean, we came back against Leicester earlier in the season, but comebacks haven't been our thing. We've done really well keeping clean sheets. Southampton, right? We did come back,
which was a struggle.
Them tomorrow, which was a big struggle. But I don't. Again, to me, my biggest issue beginning of the season was we weren't being clinical at home, and we turned that around during Millwall and Villa when I was there. And then again, away from home, I mean, look at the stats. Undefeated in 2025, haven't exceeded a goal. We're the first top flight team to ever do that. It's ridiculous. So, and it can all change tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if Southampton get 3 early goals, it changes. But for me, the mindset of the players dictated by the manager is so good. Yes, we could lose a game tomorrow, but I don't think it changes a lot of things. It just doesn't kill our mindset or the way we play. So for me, he knows how he wants to play. The players know how he wants to play. When you come in, he knows how you want to play. So for me, we're fine again, but it doesn't mean that we can't lose a match. So
what do you think, T?
There are 3 things that stand out to me in particular. None of which are like, I guess, like super
red alerts.
Yeah,
they're just
but
amber.
Number one, us playing from behind, because us playing from behind means we have to play a style that's completely different than what we really want to do in a match. So that's one. Number 2 is, and we haven't really seen it too much, is a team that's going to force us to possess the ball.
Yeah.
We don't really do a lot of possession. I mean, that match we just had with Fulham, we won it 3-0 with only like 37% of the possession. So if we go up against a team that really forces us to play with the ball for the majority of the match, I think that could be a little bit different than what we're used to.
But T, I will say this though. Sorry to cut you off. The thing is that I have no problem with us having the ball because we're not a purely counter-attacking side, and counter-attacking sides don't want the ball. We can keep the ball. As a Wharton, Saw, the back 3. Remember I'll give you a good example. The away matches against let me just try to remember the 3 games. There was Leicester away where we dominated, we do out of possession, and there was another game, West Ham away, where they play a lot of through the back 3, play a lot with the ball. So I know what you're saying, but I honestly think that you give us the ball, we'll be fine with it, because we're not waiting for you to just counterattack. So there's certain teams that just say, you know what, we don't want the ball, we're going to sit back and wait. We actually can play with the ball, but but that's an interesting point you make that. But I don't think that will be a big problem for us, even though I don't think Glasner cares to have the ball. If we have it, he'll be like, okay, we'll play with it.
And that's what I'm saying. I didn't think it's like I said, it's not like a red alert, but it's not necessarily the thing that we probably.
But I'm just firing out.
Doing,
because that's a great question. It's a great question. Yeah.
And then the last thing was something that I actually saw pointed out in a little bit of punditry on, I think it was ESPN FC, and they were actually showing some actual examples, is when the ball moves from left to right in particular, and it's on one side of the field, we tend to overload our defensive presence to that side of the field. And they were emphasizing our holes on the back side, which I've seen us actually give up goals from in the past. And they were saying that if teams can move the ball side to side well enough, and you have good enough wide players that can place those passes over the top, we could have trouble. But
I did. I don't know if I mentioned it on the ratings or to Pat. I did say that Fulham would look to overload one side and then use Anderson to create the big switch, and they did it in the second half once or twice. But one thing, I think we are the best team in the league at defending crosses. So I think where Glasner's happy to give out possession out wide because he feels we can deal with crosses I think he fancies our team in duels. Stan.
And Fulham, statistically in the league, are the best team at crossing the ball into the box, and they did it. They delivered 7 like on the money crosses in Saturday's game, and we dealt with all of them comfortably. That was the statistic. So,
yeah. So, in terms of we looked at weaknesses. Who do you think will go one by one? Who is the most important player for the last to secure an FA Cup win, to get as high as possible in the league? Who can we not afford to get injured whatsoever? Who will be the star player of the last 12 games? Just a prediction, nothing. Just your own feeling inside.
Okay,
Pat.
I think it's JP. I really do. I think the way that we play, you just see how he is around the team, how important he is. I think it's him, and that's not a put down on Eddie at all. It's just the fact. I just think that the way that he plays, he fits the Glasner system so well. When you've got players like Eze and Sarr to provide him, and Wharton and Hughes to provide him with opportunities, he'll put them away. I think for us to really win this cup to do well rest of these last 10, quote, maybe 12 matches, to me it's going to be JP.
Mm-hmm.
I think, first of all, I just love the fact that I think there are multiple right answers to this question. I love the fact that there are multiple right answers to this question.
But I'm saying what's coming from here.
Yeah. I just love the fact that there's a time where it's like, oh, Wilfred Zaha, he's the only one. He's the only one who's going to You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go with Adam Wharton. And the reason why I say that is because he gives us the ability to play in a way that no one else does. And it's his ability to truly link us from immediate defense to offense, and his ability to play really progressive passes through the middle of the pitch. So I'll go with him. But there's so many right answers, but that's the one I'll point out.
Stan?
So I have 2 scenarios. So
no, one.
But it's 2. There's 2. There's got to be 2. Because
losing one.
No, I could have picked 3 or 4, so you got to pick one.
I could pick 5.
Okay.
One.
I'm gonna say Adam Wharton as well then, because
cool.
I think he is just the guy is sublime, and there's no other way I can describe him. Like I said, he was. I mean, people were like he didn't have a good game. Like he was on a booking against Fulham, and he still dictated it. The guy is so calm, so casual, so talented. Defense splitting balls, great on the ball. I mean, yeah, we need to keep him. Number 1, we need to keep him fit, and 2, we got to make sure that he doesn't get sent off between now and the end of the season. So yeah, Adam Wharton.
Yeah. So mine is, I don't know if it's a surprise for anyone, but there's something that's happened in the last couple of weeks with Eze getting his goal for England.
Yep.
And there was something magical about what he did on Saturday. It was it was something that nobody else on the pitch could do. Not an experienced Willian, not quote unquote Iwobi, one of the best Premier League players of this season, not Emma Smith Rowe when he came off, not Adama Traore. He was a difference maker. And I've been going home and away this season, and there's been so many nearly moments for Eze. It's been off the bar. It's been injuries, like he said, and I think maybe he is the one to bring an FA Cup, to bring glory to us. So I'm going to go with Ebbs.
My pet stat of the day. Last 4 matches against Southampton, Eberechi Eze has
4 goals.
Yeah.
You know what I say about Eze as well is that he's had a bit of a stop-start season. Like Glasner said in his post-match after Fulham that he's had like these niggly injuries and stuff like that. But he's finally like in the business end of the season, it looks like he's becoming that player that's like, give me the ball. Just give me the ball. I'll do something with it. Just give me the ball. Give me the ball. And like, that's what you need. He's becoming that maverick that can turn it on when you need them to, So, yeah.
I do still think that he will float in and out of games. Like, I don't.
Yeah, he always does.
Like, it's fine. But just a couple more things before we go into score predictions. We drew Aston Villa in FA Cup semi-final. Me and Pat did a little reaction to it. I wanted to see what you guys think. Maybe put in the chat as well. Are you happy with Villa? Do you think it's the best game of the three we could have got? I'll go with you first, T.
I like it the most because I think, to this point, as far as the teams that are left, they're the team that we have the best resume with recently. So even though it's really tough to beat a team that many times in a season, I feel like I like that matchup the best for us to have that opportunity to move forward to the final. Let me say that.
Yeah. Go on, Stan.
So a couple of things on that one. We share our pub with them here in Toronto. So that is going to be a crazy day down at the Wheatsheaf. Listen, I don't think there would have been I don't think there's an easy draw at this stage of the competition. I mean, there isn't. Even Preston gave them a game for 45 minutes until they obviously came out and turned it on. Look, they're a good side. They've got a very good manager. They've got some really good players. But so are we. And we got a really good manager as well. So, yeah, bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, do you want to give you a quick brief on it? How you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough game. I saw them in person. They're very, very good going forward. And that's just Rodgers and Watkins. You add Asensio and Rashford. They're a very good attacking team, not as good defensively. The midfield battle is excellent because you got McGinn versus like Hughes, whatever, and Onana if he's fit, or so it's going to be tough.
They have a really good goalkeeper. They have a good goalkeeper too.
They have a ridiculous. They got a World Cup winning, FA Cup winning goalkeeper. I didn't get to him exactly. The defense isn't great, but the goalkeeper is excellent, probably best in the world. So it's going to be tough. I didn't have a choice when I saw the three teams. I mean, all three were going to be difficult. For a City, forget it. City just in the background scares me, but that's down the line. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. And as I told you in the preview show, it'll be the first time ever we're playing the same team in the League Cup, and the Cup in the same FA Cup in the same season. So it's a very unique situation. So let's see what happens.
This will be the fourth time this season.
Fourth time.
And we've never played a team. We played a team 4 times before, but never in 3 different competitions before.
Yeah.
I will say as well, like some people are like, oh, Forest would have been better. Like we haven't beaten Forest since they've come up. So
yeah, no one would have been. For sure.
I think the Forest would be a game where we cancel each other out because we both stylistically want to play in a similar way.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be that would probably go to extra time. So and so. I really like the fact that we're underdogs. I like the fact every single time they speak about a semi-final, they do not mention Palace even getting to the final, let alone winning it. They might give us a brief, but Palace are a little bit dangerous. I'd rather stay as underdogs. I think that's the best way to be. And I look forward to it. It's got the makings of a classic FA Cup semi-final. 2 really good progressive teams, great managers, 2 really good sets of fans as well. It would definitely be a colourful day at Wembley. We've got a donation for the HF. I think Dean Henderson donated £500. They're looking for £12,000 to create something even better than last time at Chelsea, which was really, really good, the one that they done for Chelsea. It's a shame the performance didn't match that. Lastly, I don't know if Pat, you have the tweet or anything or the article about. It was a bit wishy-washy. I don't really like talking about rumours, but it was talking about Glasner being on RB Leipzig's shortlist to become their manager at the end of the season. Obviously, he has ties to Austria and Germany, and they're a European team who've got like good Champions League pedigree. Right. But it also says that I read the article. By the end of the article, it said, but he has a contract to 2026 with an option. So are we nervous about that?
I'll read the tweet. It's from Florian Plettenberg. He's actually he's actually very much in the know journalist. Oliver Glasner remains a candidate for the RB Leipzig head coach position next season, as recently revealed, after Sebastian Hoeneß has extended his contract with is that VfB? I'm trying to think what club that is.
Stuttgart.
Yes, Stuttgart. Correct. Right, with Stuttgart. There's already been contact with Glasner's management. If Glasner wants to join Red Bull, a transfer fee will be required as his contract runs until 2026. However, there is said to be an exit option. Leipzig boss Marcel Schaefer knows Glasner well from their time together at Wolfsburg. So again, it is what it is. I'm not going to round up over Glasner leaving. He'll leave when he wants to leave, and he's going to leave because every manager leaves. We'll just enjoy him while he's here. That's my personal opinion, but you guys can talk about it if you want.
Yeah. What about you, Stan? What are your thoughts?
Cross that bridge when we come to it, mate. Let's just look ahead to tomorrow and the weekend. If he, let them put out what they want to put out. Yeah, whatever.
T.
If they're really interested, it says something about the job that he's doing with us and how well we're playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to, being with a beautiful woman, nobody wants to be with somebody who nobody wants. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's just how it works. So the reason why a team like that will be interested is because he's doing things the right way. Therefore, we're doing things the right way. So the one thing that I'm sure of with the type of character that Oliver Glasner is, and that he's shown week after week after week, game after game, is that he's going to have his full focus on us and what we're trying to accomplish right now. Because I'm sure when he was at Frankfurt and they were going through their time in the Europa League, there were teams that were showing interest in him and wanted him to be a part of what they got going on. And he stayed the course and stayed focused. So I think that's the one thing that we can count on, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I definitely think it's not a job that I could say, he won't want. I believe Glasner has a very competitive persona inside him. I think the Premier League is the only league in the world where you will be tested every week by something different. The best managers are here. The best players are here. I also think RB is quite a soulless club. I've seen videos of their ground and their atmosphere from vlogs. They don't really have. It's not really a real team. It's a franchise. So I don't know whether that would play into it. But I've never been so happy to be a Palace fan and enjoy it. So I refuse to let rumors and stuff affect what is going on here and what's being built. So yeah. I don't really care about that, but I just thought we're alive, so I thought I'd put the news out. But anyway, moving on to the predictions. We haven't got D here to cheat today, so I'm going to go from Stan to T to Pat.
Wait, let me give some stats first, so you guys can put it in context. Palace unbeaten in their last 5 matches. The last loss was a 2-1 loss at home to Everton. Palace have 2 losses in the last 15 matches, and in all competitions. The record is 11 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. Palace not conceded an away goal since the December 18th 3-2 loss to Arsenal. Since then, they have 7 clean sheets. So by my calculations, they have not conceded a goal in over 640 minutes away from home. And lastly, Southampton. They have 6 straight League and Cup losses. The last one was the 1st of February against Ipswich away, a 2-1 win. They have 2 wins all of 2025. The other win was against Swansea in the FA Cup. So they have 2 wins in the last 12 matches this calendar year. Knowing that, predictions.
Yeah, sorry. Some quick memorable games at Southampton. 3-2 in the FA Cup. Yaya Sanogo, Maramal Shamak. That was in the yellow kit. Another one was, I think, who did we lose to? We lost to someone in a massive game, and then we went there and MacArthur and Milivojevic scored in the pouring rain in the black kit.
We didn't lose. Luka missed a penalty against City in the last minute.
Yeah, that and then he redeemed himself. I knew something had happened the previous game. We got the Wilf last minute winner towards the end of the season. And then we got the Eze and Elise show where Eze just ran riot and was doing flicks over people's heads in the corner flag and stuff like that. But yeah, let's go predictions. I want your predicted score and scorers. Stan?
I'm going to go 2-0 Palace, and I'm going to say Eze and JP.
Okay. 40. 4-0 Palace.
Wow.
JP, Eddie, Ebbs, and Mark Gay.
I like that. P?
I'll go 3-0. I'll go Lacroix, Wharton, and JP.
Lovely. I'm gonna
Yes.
I'm gonna go 2-0 as well. And I'm gonna predict it till it happens. I'm gonna go Wharton goal and backflip. Yeah, just for T. And I got Danny Munoz to score.
No backflips. We don't need. He can't get injured.
No. I need to see a backflip.
I tell you what, if Wharton scores tomorrow, I'm going to buy his kit from the store. Right now, if he scores tomorrow while I'm there, I'm buying that kit.
Yellow kit's on sale too, so that'll be a nice deal you'll get there.
Yeah. There it is.
But yeah, thanks to Stan, T, Uncle P, great show. Me, D, and T will be at the game tomorrow. T's first game. Make sure you come and say hello to him. It's a big thing. Palace away game. It's going to be a party atmosphere. He's going to get to sing Wembley songs till his throat.
I can't wait.
Throat can't give any more.
Get some liquor down him as well.
Yeah, we'll be in the Yates pub beforehand for pre-match. But yeah, thanks to everyone. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you at. I think there's not a watch along. There's a review. There'll be a live reaction.
Post match. Me and Hambo will doing that tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, and then me and Pat will do the ratings after, and then there'll be a match preview for Brighton. But yeah,
thanks a lot. And you get the dub. I'm calling in.
In the carpool. In the carpool, we'll be calling in.
That's it.
I hear you.
But yeah. Up the Palace.
Enjoy the match, team.
Palace.
Up the Palace.
Up the Palace.